7.6 magnitude earthquake hits Japan. A quiet farewell for Lee Sun-kyun, who died in the spotlight. U.S. sinks 3 ships, kills 10 after Houthi Red Sea attack. North Korea's Kim orders military to prepare for possible war. British warship arrives among border dispute in South America. France grounds Romanian plane under suspicion of human trafficking. Venice prohibits tour groups exceeding 25 people from entering the city starting June. Couples race to get married in Las Vegas on New Year's Eve.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Happy New Year, and thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Tuesday, January 2nd, and here are your top stories. A 7.6 magnitude quake struck at around 1610 local time on Monday. Tsunami warnings were issued and downgraded several hours later, meaning the sea could still generate waves of up to 3 meters. Aftershocks could also slam the same area over the next few days. Japanese public broadcaster NHK TV initially warned that torrents of water could reach as high as 5 meters. The network continued to air warnings hours later as aftershocks rocked the region. About 60 tremors have been recorded following the initial quake.
A quiet New Year's Day in the coastal city of Suzu on Japan's west coast. Then a major earthquake hits.
At least 6 people have died in Japan's Ishikawa prefecture following a 7.5 magnitude earthquake that struck central Japan on Monday, according to the country's public broadcaster NHK, which cited local police. The quake collapsed buildings, caused fires, and triggered tsunami alerts as far away as eastern Russia, prompting orders for residents to evacuate affected coastal areas of Japan. Japan is an extremely quake-prone nation, but a tsunami warning of the magnitude of Monday's had not been issued since a major quake and tsunami caused meltdowns at a nuclear plant in March 2011.
The 48-year-old actor Lee Sang-kyun was found dead in a car in Seoul last Wednesday. Police believe he killed himself. It was a shock to the country, where he had become a household name during his more than 20-year-long career before he shot to international fame in the acclaimed hit Parasite. South Korean star Lee Kyun's family bid him farewell in a private funeral, shutting out the cameras that had stalked him in his last months when he was under investigation for drug use.
According to a CNN report, one of Lee's lawyers said the actor felt aggrieved about the way police were handling the drug investigation, including how details turned up in local media. The entertainment industry has been put on hold, with several events canceled, as former colleagues turned up to remember Lee. On Friday, his family mourned him along with close friends and colleagues, after appealing to Korean media to stop making painful and abrupt visits to Lee's home, agency, and funeral.
U.S. helicopters repelled an attack by Iran-backed Houthi militants on a Maersk container vessel in the Red Sea, sinking the 3 ships and killing 10 militants, according to accounts by American, Maersk, and Houthi officials on Sunday. The Maersk container ship, the Singapore flag Hanzo, issued a distress call at around 6:30 a.m. local time, U.S. Central Command said in a statement on Sunday. The merchant vessel said 4 small boats were attacking it. The small boats, originating from the Houthi control areas in Yemen, fired cruise-served and small arms weapons at the Maersk Hanzo, getting to within 20 meters of the vessel, and attempted to board the vessel, Central Command said.
Helicopters from 2 U.S. ships, the USS Eisenhower and the USS Gravely, responded and issued verbal calls to the small boats, U.S. officials said. A spokesman for the Houthis said the group carried out the attack because the ship's crew refused to heed warning calls. He said 10 Houthi naval personnel were dead and missing after their boats were attacked by U.S. forces in the Red Sea. Yemen's Houthis have been targeting vessels in the Red Sea since November to show their support for Hamas, prompting major shipping companies to take the longer and costlier route around the Africa's Cape of Good Hope rather than through the Suez Canal.
North Korea leader Kim Jongun has ordered his country's military, munitions industry, and nuclear weapons sector to accelerate war preparations to counter what they called unprecedented confrontational moves by the U.S. Speaking on the policy directions for the new year at a key meeting of the country's ruling party last Wednesday, Kim also said Pyongyang would expand its strategic cooperation with anti-imperialist independent countries, Korean Central News Agency reported.
On Thursday, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol visited a frontline military unit in the eastern county of Yeoncheon to inspect its defense posture and called for an immediate retaliation if there was any provocation from North Korea. North Korea has been expanding ties with Russia, among others, as Washington accuses Pyongyang of supplying military equipment to Moscow for use in its war with Ukraine, while Russia provides technical support to help the North advance its military capabilities.
A British warship arrived in Guyana last Friday afternoon amid rising tensions from a border dispute between the former British colony and Venezuela. The HMS Transvisit led Venezuela to begin military exercises a day earlier in the Eastern Caribbean near its border with Guyana as the Venezuelan government presses its claim to a huge swath of its smaller neighbor. The dispute is over Essequibo, a sparsely populated region that is the size of Florida and rich in oil and minerals.
Guyana has controlled Essequibo for decades, but Venezuela revived its historical claim to the region earlier this month through a referendum in which voters were asked whether the territory should be turned into a Venezuelan state. Venezuela has long claimed it was cheated out of the territory when Europeans and the U.S. set the border. Brazil's Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressed concern about the situation and urged the two South American countries to return to dialogue. It said other nations should avoid military activities that support either side.
A flight with 303 passengers, including 11 non-accompanied minors, on its way to Nicaragua was allowed to resume its journey on Monday, 3 days after French authorities detained it near Paris over suspected human trafficking. The plane, belonging to Legend Airlines, a company based in Romania, was on its way from the United Arab Emirates to Nicaragua and had stopped over at Vatry Airport for supply, according to the prosecutor's office. French authorities seized the plane on December 21st after receiving an anonymous tip.
Prosecutors said on Sunday that the plane was allowed to depart while two passengers who were questioned by police are still in custody, monitored by the Paris prosecutor's office. Border police can initially hold a foreign national for up to 4 days if they land in France and are prevented from traveling on to their intended destination. French law allows for that period to be extended to 8 days if a judge approves it, then another 8 days in exceptional circumstances, up to a maximum of 26 days. Human trafficking carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years in France.
In an effort to alleviate the strain on Venice caused by tourism, the city government announced on December 30th that starting this June, new restrictions will be imposed on tour group sizes. Venice, a major tourist destination in Italy, will limit all tour groups to a maximum of 25 people and prohibit the use of loudspeakers by tour guides. The policy is aimed at popular tourist areas in the city center and islands, addressing the negative impacts of excessive tourism. Officials hope this measure will improve the overall experience for both residents and visitors.
Venice City Council's plan to implement an entry fee during peak tourism days from April to mid-July aims to manage the influx of visitors. On 29 peak days, tourists visiting Venice from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be charged €5. The initiative seeks to regulate crowds, encourage longer, more immersive stays, and enhance the quality of life for locals. Venice, covering just 7.6 square kilometers, hosted nearly 13 million visitors in 2019, posing environmental challenges. With projections of increased tourism post-pandemic, The city narrowly avoided being classified as a World Heritage in danger by UNESCO due to climate change and over-tourism concerns in early 2021.
For better or for worse, a wave of couples gather at chapels across the Las Vegas Valley to tie the knot on New Year's Eve, which held a special date of December 31st, 2023, or 123-123. In the industry, that repeating date is known as a specialty date, according to the Associated Press. It's a double whammy, said Melody Willis-Willems, president of Vegas Weddings, which operates multiple venues. Anytime you get these specialty dates, they are hugely popular. But tie that in with New Year's Eve and it's a showstopper.
Las Vegas' most popular wedding date in history occurred on the 7th of July 2007. It became known as the Lucky Sevens Day when 4,492 couples were married. The second most popular wedding date in history occurred on the 11th of November 2011 when 3,125 couples were married. In 2022, February 22, 22 became the sixth most popular wedding date in the city's history with 2,331 weddings.
The answer for last Friday was A, influential. The committee was influential in formulating government policy on employment. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of 7.6 magnitude earthquake hits Japan. Number 1, downgrade. 贬低, 降低, 低估. The boy's condition has been downgraded from critical to serious. Number 2, magnitude. 震级, 重要性. An operation of this magnitude is going to be difficult. Number 3, initial, 起初的. My initial reaction was to decline the offer. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm John Yu, your host. I'll see you next time.